Welcome to the Ages of Rock podcast with your hosts Bill Algie, Dennis Talbot, and Alan Tate. We are three guys who have one thing in common, a love of rock and roll. Our goal is to talk about all things rock. We hope you find this show intriguing, funny, and occasionally highly opinionated. Enjoy! Hey friends, this is episode number 392 of the Ages of Rock podcast. And today we're going to talk about five or so of each of our favorite albums from 1975. It's hard to believe that was 50 years ago.
But it's also our five album. I picked the five albums that Rolling Stone out of 75.
Well, I hadn't gotten that far yet.
Well, okay. I just want to make sure that people don't think these are my favorite albums.
Well,
I had rules.
Mr. Interrupt Us, also known as Dennis. So I got the idea from a Rolling Stone magazine article, 75 albums from 1975. And I didn't look at the list before I sent it to these guys and said, hey, we should do this. And then Bill was like, I don't know that I can come up with five albums off of this. So today I finally got around to looking at the list and I'm like, shit, maybe I should have looked at it before I gave him the idea. So before we get to that,
it's a tough list.
Yeah, it is a tough list, but I never think about the fact that it's Rolling Stone magazine. So they hate a lot of the people that we like.
Yeah.
So you got that going for us or against us, however you want to look at it. But before we get started on that, Bill has some albums he wants to show. Dennis has something he wants to show off, and we're going to talk a little bit about the 2025 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees.
Hot dog.
Hot dog. Go, Bill, go.
All right, I'll go first. So, an album I've been trying to get a hold of for a long time. I'm a 3 Days Grace fan. Like them a lot. And finally was able to grab, they put this album out, which is and exactly what is it called for sure here? I don't even know.
He's a big fan, but he doesn't know the name of the album.
No, because the album it's had a couple of different names.
I'm the biggest fan ever.
It's just called One. That's the problem. It's got different numbers on it, so it's weird. Anyway, but it's got the songs on it are Animal I Become, Never Too Late, and Pain, which is three of my favorite songs. I picked this up online for like $15 new.
Oh, good deal.
And every place I could get it from was like 25 or 30, and then you had to pay shipping, and it was like, really, I got a steal.
Where did you find it online? Was it Amazon or was it the site itself? Okay.
It was on Amazon. So
Amazon has some good deals on some stuff. Every once in a while, you just got to pull it up, and you'll just find an odd. That's where I got the Ace Frehley thing. It's like come out of nowhere, boom.
Yeah, this is a great record. I haven't opened it up and listened to it yet because I haven't been home by myself. So, because it's one of those records that I don't want to listen to at a decibel level of wife, of W for wife. Sorry. And then when at Rocknpod, I picked up Roy Cathy, lead singer for Cold Sweat. So I picked that up when I was there.
Oh, cool. I see some scribbling on it.
Yeah, well, a little signature job on there. I mean, you say, dude, will you just sign the damn thing while you're here? Yep. So he did.
If nobody knows, I didn't make it to Rocknpod. Just real quick, because I got
Don't worry, we carried the weight. Don't worry.
No.
We carried the weight.
Now, let's be honest here. Bill carried the weight because he did most of the interviews. I think I did 5 and Bill did the rest of them.
Bill's a wordsmith. So he's good.
Bill's a very good
I can say a lot, apparently.
No, you can't. You kept saying yeah.
No,
Bill, how are the since I didn't get to go, which all day at work, I was like, well, fuck, I wish I could be there. Man, it just sucked. I just could not get out of I had to go to work.
You were there the last time. It was very similar.
Okay, so
not much
as
change.
Vendors, about the same amount of vendors. Okay,
same.
Yeah, I looked at some of the video, and it looked like, as I said, it was about the same kind of setup as last time, and it was That place is just so big. Anyway, what's he got? He gonna pull
Well,
something off the
that
wall.
was one of the things that kind of got discussed that if they put it in a smaller place,
Right,
that it wouldn't look so spread out because
right,
throughout the day in the morning it seemed like it kind of started slow, but as the day picked up, there was a
sure.
lot more traffic coming through.
I saw some live feeds at the very beginning, and it looked kind of kind of spread out. But then there was some toward the end, like midday and stuff like that. I noticed that there was quite a bit of traffic that picked up there.
We had a
And
perfect spot. If you missed our booth,
was it?
Fix your
Were you in
microphone,
this?
Bill.
oh, sorry.
Was it in the same spot we were last year or
No,
last month?
No, no,
actually,
no, no, no.
as you walk in the door
Okay,
and you walk towards where all of the podcasters were,
sure.
we were the very first booth.
Oh, no
Yeah,
shit.
And we
if
were
you
How
turned
missed,
cool is
around
that?
so you could see our logo and everything.
Well, how crap. Did you put the big banner up or you just
Heck
laid it?
no, we just did it across the table again.
we are lazy people,
And we
and
are
it worked
lucky
out.
we still have a banner because Alan is forgetful.
We are. We are. Oh, I got one more thing I forgot.
All
I
right.
forgot
Well,
to show on show and tell.
See it.
So at the show, they had a person there that was selling her artwork, and
Right.
her artwork is she takes vinyl records and makes um, photos out of them of different things. So here
Okay.
is Destroyer was my first album,
Right.
and well, okay, Love Gun was my first album.
Right.
But I've got this. This is made out of all LPs.
Oh, that's cool. So it's like little pieces of vinyl that she's put
Yeah,
together.
it's all
How
little pieces of vinyl.
cool is that?
It is really cool,
I
and it
bet
That
should
is
that
be
took
cool,
a
cool.
lot of work.
and it should be cool because it was not cheap.
That's what
It
that
took
was
a
my
lot of
next
work. I'm sure
question.
it's not.
Would you care to share what you paid for that? I'd be
Over
curious.
over $150.
Oh, I would figure that at
Yeah,
least, yeah.
it was one.
But what I mean,
I think it was 175.
that's a piece of artwork. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
it
just it's
is.
a one
It's
of a
really
kind.
cool.
It's a one of a kind.
Yeah, very very cool.
So how
Time
cool is that?
consuming to make something like that. So
Yeah, no shit.
I
And she
understand
had a
that it's
lot of
going to
other
cost
really
that
cool
much.
stuff. Actually,
Wow.
I thought about getting it. There was the one I was going to get at first was a Gene Simmons one.
Right.
It was just like his head, and they had blood coming out of his neck. I mean, down his
Huh.
chin or side of his face, whatever.
That's
That
pretty
was
cool.
really cool. So I sent those to my family and said, "Which one should I buy?" And then um, I bought the one I wanted.
Right. Exactly.
So yeah, it worked out pretty good.
No, that's
But
cool. That's cool shit.
yeah,
I like that.
it was a good show. I thought
Yeah,
it,
I really miss going. Like I said, I miss seeing, all the people and just having the fun of doing stuff. But it was just one of those things I screwed up earlier on in the year and just couldn't get off. I just couldn't. And it was a work weekend, unfortunately, and just could not. And I had a sick day 2 weeks prior that I had to take, and just it really screwed everything up. So anyway,
well, and to be honest, Alan and I and Ian Wadley were the only OGs.
no
No,
kidding.
from the very first one, yeah,
Yep,
we were the only ones from the very first one.
Really?
I
yep,
mean,
That's
there was still,
crazy.
classic rock drops was there.
Sure.
yeah.
Well, those guys
Uh,
have been there for years, but I'm saying from the original guys.
right, right.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Ralph didn't come up with Ian, or
No, Ralph. Well, Ralph and Ian live on different sides of the
that's
country,
true. Yeah, Ralph's in Florida. And
but I think he had something going on. He couldn't get away from
I
either.
think he's in the middle of building a house or something, or
That
putting his
would be
house
a
together.
good reason not to come to
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rocknpod.
no good.
So yeah,
Wow.
the oldest in the group.
The blue shirt.
I took my blue shirt. I didn't wear it. I was
I
gonna
wore
wear
it.
it, but
See, I wore it last time. I wore it for about the first
I know
hour.
I
It
had
was
it,
fun.
but
It was
I
good.
decided not to do it.
Yeah.
Well, I
It's
put
I
on
just
a
wore
few
my
pounds since the last time I wore it, so it might be a little too stretchy. I don't know.
mine fits about the same. I'm always about the same. I'm just been fat for a long time, so
Well, that'll help.
yeah.
So, that all you got, Bill?
Yes, sir.
Until you think of something else you bought?
Yeah, yeah. Until I think of
Hey,
something.
wait, I got this. This is cool.
Well, show us what you got to show and tell,
Okay,
Mr.
so
Dennis.
I did show and tell years ago on our show because we've been around for a while. Hold on.
Uh-oh. He's got to show off his guitars. I forgot about that.
I think I've had 3 guitar purchases. Did I show you guys that Les Paul that I got here? last year. I don't think I showed you guys that one too. I got a 2020 to, not a tobacco burst. It's a bourbon burst, but I bought it from a friend of mine. So anyway,
What's the
neat.
difference?
It's the color, bourbon burst or sun. You know, it's a sunbird. It's more of a I call it more of an iced tea. It's kind of a and Alan don't know what I'm talking about. It's just
Oh,
the anyway. I'll show it to you sometime. I
if
won't. I
I
don't
ever
know.
have a bourbon burst, gonna have to clean vomit up off the floor.
I
There you
have
go.
I have had a bourbon burst. I can tell you.
So I got this here just a couple months ago. I got it through Sweetwater, but it actually came from Guitar Center in Tennessee. It's used. Of course, whenever they sent it, they didn't pack it real well, and this got hammered real hard and broke the paint. I fixed it and put a new. They sent me new things, and I got another $100 and some off, so it was good. But anyway, this is a Kramer 1984. This is a reissue of the one that Eddie Van Halen played back in '84. It's got the one volume knob. That's it. No tone. Goes straight to the output. And it's got a Floyd Rose. It's like a one. They call it from the original. It's all matched from the original. This thing here, you put it in tune, dude. You can just tear the shit up, and it actually just stays in tune. It's a. I've been wanting one of these for a long time, so I got that. Now this is the one that come out of left field. I was 1 second.
That's what he gets for working overtime. Oh no, please hide your eyes, everybody. Hide your eyes. Do not look.
Ooh.
Okay. Phew.
So to finish out my Gibsons, I always wanted an Explorer,
Oh, cool.
and I got a. This is a '70s edition of the Explorer. They got a '70s and '80s, and basically the only difference is the '80s doesn't have the pick guard, and they're all painted like red, black, white, that kind of stuff. And the '70s has a bit thinner neck, and it's got the wood grain. But anyway, I've been wanting one forever, and I'm like, give me 2 years, same as cash, no interest. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and buy it and pay for it. And but anyway, we're getting ready to do our old band is doing a reunion show this summer. Actually, we're going to do two shows, I think now. And I was thinking about when we were playing Cheap Trick. He actually didn't play Gibsons. He always played. Was it Dean? Not Dean. What is it?
Hammer.
Huh? Hammer. Yeah, Hammer.
Hammer.
Hammer. But
Mr.
he,
Not Guitar got one right.
no, I mean, you're more guitar than most guys. But anyway, but I was doing it, and then all of a sudden I was like, well, man, I wonder how much one of those are. And then I got on Sweetwater, and it's like, we got 48 months, no interest. I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what?
Wow,
That's
a
pretty
good
easy.
deal.
That's pretty pretty easy. So anyway, so I went ahead and did that. And also, I don't have it up here, but I just bought here about 4 months ago. I bought a Kemper system. I bought the whole
Oh,
600-watt head, the foot switch, and the matching speaker cabinet. Now, it works great, sounds cool, but programming it, you need to be somebody from NASA. Anybody who is a Kemper person, if you've got some knowledge on how to set up performances, message me, please.
so is
Actually,
is that because everybody's using a lot of pre-recorded stuff? Is that why?
no,
It's an amp simulation.
this is amp simulation. I
Right.
could
So they're
take my
using, I mean,
amp,
are they,
right,
I think what I hear you saying, not being a technical person, is
right.
you can make that amp sound the way you want it to based on what you're playing
Yeah, I mean,
because of the electronics and the computer and different things that are connected to it.
it models an amp. So basically, I can take my amp and it makes these sounds. It goes whoa, 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 and makes all these crazy sounds. And then after it models it, it'll sound just like that amp. It's crazy. So I've always wanted like a Plexi, Marshall Plexi. Well, there's a guy in Nashville who makes these models of these Marshall Plexis that are in Vox 30s and all these other ones. Then it's got the onboard effects. It's just dialing the shit in. So I got a hold of Ryan. I sent him a message because I knew that those guys used Kempers, on the road quite a bit. And I said, man, I did something that completely fucked it up. I had to actually, I had to go back to factory settings. So I fucked it up so bad. But I know what I did wrong now. But anyway, I called and I texted Ryan or messaged Ryan. I said, dude, I said, I know you're busy, but I said, I just got a couple questions about this. Well, it took 2 days and all of a sudden I get a call. He's like, hey, man, this is Ryan. I'm like, dude, you didn't have to call me. I just, he goes, dude, I'm going to tell you right now. He goes, I don't know how to use that thing. He goes, there's a guy named Michael Britt is the guy who does all these plexis and has all these amps in Nashville, who does all these samples. But anyway, he was like, I don't do nothing. I have him set it up. He said, but talk to Philip. I said, well, I know Philip's busy or shit. Oh, he'd help you out. So one of these days, I don't even, I'll drive to Nashville and pay Philip to send me through a crash course on how to program a Kemper. So anyway, that's where I'm at. So
There you
All
go.
right.
There's
yeah,
your
and then
guitar amp
I got a big cyst now
story
in my wrist that I got to get cut out on my playing hand. So this is another.
so you're gonna be gimpy then.
I don't know. We'll see. See how it is.
Gimpy D.
Gimpy D.
That'll be your stage name.
That's
Yo,
my
yo,
stage name.
yo.
Hey, it's
Coming
Gimpy
at you,
D.
Skippy D.
Oh, I hope I remember to hashtag that.
I'll
All right,
send you a
well,
thing. Let's do
let,
it. Let's get to it.
let's move on to the
All
Rock
right.
and Roll Hall of Fame inductees.
Oh, I
Okay.
forgot about
Oh yeah, I
that
forgot about
list.
that.
Well, I've got the list right here and I'm going to read off of it.
You
First
sent
thing
it
I
to
want
us,
to
didn't you?
do is I want to give a shout out to
I
Tom
got it.
Feely because I actually took this off of the Billy Coin Hall
Oh,
of
cool.
Fame Facebook page because they've got it broken down into performer category, musical
I
influence
saw that. Yeah.
award, musical excellent award, and Amhat Ertegun. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Whatever that is.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't recognize the name of whoever the award recipient is
That's like a
either. So,
special. It's like a
right.
special. I mean, it's just kind of out of the side kind of
Right. But the
thing.
Yeah, I don't.
2025 inductees under the performer category are Bad Company, Chubby Checker, Joe Cocker, Cyndi Lauper, Outkast, Soundgarden, and the White Stripes.
So why hasn't Joe Cocker been on there already?
I don't know.
That's
Under the
odd.
Musical Influence Award, Salt and Pepper and Warren Zevon. Zevon, however that's
T-Bone.
pronounced.
That's Werewolves of London guy.
Okay. Musical
Haven't seen him.
Excellence Award, Tom Bell, Nikki Hopkins, and Carol Kay. And I'm thrilled to death that Carol Kay's on there.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
That's
really cool.
awesome.
Probably
That is
the
awesome.
greatest bass player on the planet.
Yeah,
Well,
she's played
that's
on
the
more
only.
songs than anybody.
Right.
That's the only person I kn- I of the three. That's the only person I knew.
Same.
Me too.
But for the Ahmet Ertegun Ertegun Award,
Right.
the recipient is Lenny Waronker, Waronker.
Right.
So I don't know who that is. Whatever.
Yeah.
But I will say, Billy Idol it was his first time being nominated. He didn't get inducted. I didn't really pay a whole lot of attention to who all did get nominated. But I will say overall, I think that they got some good picks in this time.
They got two that probably not shouldn't be in there, but that's just me.
Well, now we got to remember this is really the Music Hall of Fame. They just call it the Rock and
I
Roll
know.
Hall of Fame.
But if you want to go the rock and roll, and I got my idea anyway, so
Well, say
I'll
your
just keep it to
piece.
myself.
Say your
No, I
piece.
think Outcast, of course, that's not
Ha-
rock and roll.
Have you ever heard Andre 3000 play his guitar?
No, I have not.
That dude is a fucking
Okay.
stellar guitar player.
But aren't they though? They're more rap kind of
Uh,
artists, right?
Pop, rap, rock,
Okay.
it kind of all
I don't
blends
know.
together.
'Cause
Yeah.
I should have probably listened to it. But White Stripes too. I think they put him on a pedestal, and I just don't. They think he's like this genius, that walks the face of this earth, and I just don't get him. I just don't. That's just my own opinion. I mean,
Sorry, Bill Elam.
no, Bill likes him.
Oh,
And,
Bill loves White Stripes.
well, I mean, they had that documentary about guitars, and you have Jimmy Page, which of course, The Edge, okay, and then that guy, and I'm like, Jack, I was like going, what the fuck is he on here for? He's not no.
But I mean, if you've ever heard that dude just wail on a guitar, I mean, he's really good.
All right. Anyway,
Anyway,
but
I just wanted to bring that up. No
yeah,
particular reason. I thought for a change that it was a better induction than in previous years.
I think so too. I
And
think it
the
was
the
more
last 9 years that we've talked about this,
right. So are they? I'm
Bill,
taking Bad Company as they inducted the
I
original
I would
band.
imagine that it's the original
That's
four
what I was. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
because
So
Brian Howe, they did like two or three albums.
sure,
And I mean, they had two or three good radio hits, so in my
right? No,
Oh,
opinion,
they had
they
a
should
number of
induct
radio
him as
hits.
well.
Yeah.
that's why I don't. But that's why I don't know how they change the rules for everybody. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
we're going to do Kiss, we're only going to do that,
You
but
can only do the first four members of Kiss, but everybody that's ever been in Deep Purple.
well, that or Grateful
That's
Dead.
actually the
We're gonna.
band's or that's the band's partially the band's decision. Is
I,
it?
I
That's
don't know.
I thought it was not because that was
No,
something that Gene and them were pissed about because they were
because they
when the
wanted all the
original.
members in.
Because otherwise, Grateful
Anyway,
Dead, there's like 85 people in the Grateful Dead. They nominated and got their anyway. But once again, it's just a bunch of bullshit.
what say you, Bill?
I think it's a pretty decent list. I think Bad Company,
Yeah,
Chubby Checker.
Well,
Joe Cocker probably needs to be in there. Cyndi Lauper, whatever. Outcast, whatever. Soundgarden probably deserves to be in there. And the White Stripes, not a big fan, but I know that
no,
they have quite a following, so I get
right.
it. Um, and then Carol Kay, I only know her because of seeing her the interview that Gene did with her.
Oh,
Um,
that's the only way. No, you
she
didn't.
schooled him too.
she
You watched.
did.
You
Yeah,
watched that thing with that we
yeah. Well, if you let me
right.
finish,
Oh,
and then the documentary about and I can't even think of the name of
Denny
the
Tuscadero,
documentary. What?
the Denny Tuscadero thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I can't
Yeah,
think of the name of the
I can't think
documentary.
of it either. I'm
It was
trying.
about all the players that played on all the
Yeah,
Wasn't the
the
hired gun, it was
the Wrecking
the
Crew,
wrecking crew.
Wrecking Crew.
Wrecking
There
Crew
you go.
documentary. There you go.
Yeah.
Sorry.
There. It's
Yeah.
been a day. That was one of our first
That
interviews. It
was,
was a
yeah.
I need to rewatch that
long
too. I
time
have that
ago.
on DVD. I need to
You
watch that
probably
again.
don't want to rewatch that. You probably look at it and go, "Holy crap! I was thin, and now I'm like,
No,
No, no,
he
no.
he
I'm
wants the
I'm saying
DVD.
watch the documentary. I don't need to see me. The
no, you
actual
should see
document.
you. I'm telling you, you should watch it with
I
you on
know.
there.
I'm like,
That's what you should do.
I don't know.
It's kind of funny because I got this little mouse on my computer and I'm scratching my chin. You just can't see it.
What the hell are you talking about?
Did
How
you
Bill
take a
entertains
gummy
himself.
before
He's
this
trip.
show?
Yeah, I was gonna say you
How Bill
tripping out there.
entertains, yeah, how
I got
Bill
a
entertains
mouse. I got a
himself.
mouse in my beard. He lives in my beard.
It's very funny.
All
Oh well.
right, so
All right.
let's move on to this
All right.
songs
Yes.
from 1975. If we've got
Songs from
anybody still
1975.
listening.
Yeah.
Nobody's listening.
Nobody's listening.
Nobody. All
Nobody.
right. I don't know how we want to do this. We really didn't talk much about it. You just want to start at your number five and work your
I
way
don't
to your
Or
number
we
one,
did it. We
or do
did
you
it.
just have them?
I
I think
I
we all
can.
probably have the same number one.
Well, of course we do. We
of
better,
course.
or you're fired immediately from this podcast.
I would like
Yeah.
to
No,
see you fire me.
no, I know. I'll just fire myself. I'll just quit. I don't care. I've kind of actually got mine in the order. I do might have mine in order.
I don't really
So
have an order.
the
Oh,
five. I
okay,
had
Dennis,
10, but I lost my list. What? Okay.
start with your first
Number
choice.
number five, least on the list of five, is the Fleetwood Mac album
That's a
because
good album.
that has some great. And I looked at this list as of me in 75. What albums, not now what they well, actually there's one that's a little bit more now. But what back then, what albums affected me and I was really into. Fleetwood Mac songs. I mean, of course in AM we had those songs playing all the time. And to this day, those songs are still great songs.
Right. Now,
So
on the list, that album was number 22, and it had Monday Morning, Rhiannon, Over My Head, and Say You
yep,
Love Me, and
yep.
Landslide.
Boy,
But half of that album
that's
right
five.
there, that's
That's
radio
five.
hits right there.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's a good album.
absolutely.
Yeah.
What you got, Bill?
Am I picking my fifth one?
Hey,
Yes.
pick
I had the
whichever
same.
one you want.
Okay. So I numbered them. So
All right.
for number five, I had Fleetwood Mac.
Right
Okay.
on.
Wow.
Yep.
Anything special about it, or just
No,
because?
it's one of those records that if you collect records, if you collect vinyl, you have to have it. It's
Exactly.
kind of like It's one of those
it's a tapestry. It's
one of those
this.
staples.
It's a staple. If you don't have that album, you don't have a collection.
Yeah.
I don't have a
Yeah.
collection then.
Well,
We knew
at least
that.
you can admit it. That's okay.
Yeah. Well, I have Spotify, so I have all the albums in the
That's
world.
true. That's
There you
true.
go.
So
There you
do
go.
I.
All right. What I put on for my number five is Aerosmith's Toys in the Attic. And that
Okay.
one was number 27 on the Rolling Stone list. That one I got, I think I was probably, I've got an aunt that's 11 years older than I am, and she gave me a bunch of records one time. So she was probably 18, so I might have been 9 or 10 at the time.
Right.
And that was one that she gave me, and I've just always loved that album. Toys in the Attic um, is a great song. I've actually done a cover of that song. I just haven't released it yet. And of course, everybody knows Walk This Way and Sweet Emotion are on
Right.
there. And I
Well, it's
like to throw out an honorable mention to the big 10-inch record because it ain't
yeah.
really about a record.
Like, once again, that's a staple record. I mean,
Right.
that has their your meat and potatoes in it.
Well, for me personally, all five of my picks would be staple records.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you got for number four, Dennis?
Well, I was getting ready to sneeze, but I think it went away. Um, my number four is Toys in the Attic.
All right
It,
on.
I mean, like I said, it's a staple album. Look at it. I mean, and you still hear those songs today. So, and back then we heard them.
Still hear 'em. Golly. I haven't listened to terrestrial radio in forever. And I had to drive my mother-in-law's car the other day, and
Wow.
it doesn't have Sirius XM. So I had to listen to classic rock, our local classic rock station. And going in one direction, I heard Walk This Way, and coming the other direction, I heard Sweet Emotion.
Yeah.
It's a staple.
Yep.
Yeah, what do you got for
Staple.
number four, Bill?
Number four, I've got AC/DC's TNT.
Good
That
choice.
one is number 47 on the Rolling Stone
It
list.
is number 47.
Yes.
That one didn't make my
Move your
top
For
10.
microphone
me,
down, Bill.
for me, it was number four.
Yeah.
Got my fingers caught up in there.
There you go.
There you
My
go.
it was on my top 10, but not on my top five.
Well, I will go ahead and say, since you brought that one up, that is on my honorable mentions list, and I almost knocked Toys in the Attic off because when I looked that album up today, I didn't realize how many of the songs on that album that I really, really liked.
Right.
Because I'm the bigger Brian Johnson era fan than I am a Bon Scott fan.
Yeah, me too. But
So,
still, good record.
yeah. But specifically, the album TNT was only released in Australia and New Zealand at the time.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay.
I did a little Googling today. I did a little
Googling.
Wikipediaing today.
Wicked. You wicked.
All right. My number four is Queen's A Night at the Opera. That came in at number 20 on the Rolling Stones list. Uh, this was my introduction to Queen. My dad had this record. It got played a lot in our house. So, obviously everybody knows Bohemian Rhapsody from the album and then from the resurgence of Queen in 91 with Wayne's World.
Right.
But it also had You're My Best Friend as one of its radio hits. Um, Death on Two Legs, the album opener. Gosh, that song is such a banger to me because,
I
I
love
mean,
that song. I love that
that
song,
dude,
actually.
when Freddie wrote that song, he was
Right.
mad.
He's madder than fuck.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
He wasn't
Yeah,
mad. He's madder than fuck.
yeah. And I also give honorable mention to I'm in love with my car, but I do not want to know how Roger Taylor makes love to his car.
You got to make sure that you don't turn it on first because the spike gets a little hot. So,
Yeah, it just went straight to the crapper.
It did.
All right, number three.
all right. Number three. There we go. Oh, for me,
Yes.
Yep.
Queen Night at the Opera. So you're one behind me, or I'm behind you one.
Eh,
Queen Night at the Opera was I was a Queen fan, and for Easter, my mom used to buy me record albums for Easter. So I actually had News of the World and Night at the Opera for Easter. So I listen to I probably listen to the Night Opera probably more than the other. I think that the Prophet song on there is a fantastic song. I like it better than Bohemian Rhapsody. I mean, it's one of those long, lots of
Mhm.
layers of vocals and stuff like that, and it speaks to me more than the thing with Bohemian Rhapsody. It's a good song, but it's just I'm burnt.
It's
And
overplayed. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was burnt back then with it. So, but like you said, there's other things on there. Lazy Afternoon, Summer 39? I think I
Just
had that wrong.
39.
Yeah, what 39. But there's a lot of great music on there. The whole album's a good, and like you said, in a Death on Two Legs, that's just I love that fucking song. That's a great song.
Yeah.
Anyway, all
Bill.
right.
All right. We're at number three, correct?
Yes.
Number three, I have Led Zeppelin's Physical Graffiti.
I'm kidding. I'm
It
kidding.
actually has my favorite Led Zeppelin song, which is Cashmere on it.
Well,
Yeah.
and for that same reason, it's in my top 10, but didn't make my top five because it's only
Well,
one song.
that's kind of held naughty to the opera. I like that album a
Right.
lot, but I had
That
some other
one.
things I had to get in there. So
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Cashmere is a masterpiece song. I
yeah,
love that song.
and there's
Yeah.
other stuff on that album that's great too. But
Right.
that song is that when that comes on in the radio, like when you're listening to
Yeah.
um Alan, when you're listening to the you have to listen to the radio. You're listening to that back in the,
This is a foreign concept.
there you go. You're listening just to radio,
Right.
and that comes on, it gets cranked up pretty loud for me. Love
Absolutely.
it.
That one
Drum it in the
came in at
car.
number 10 on the Rolling Stones list.
Right.
And other fancy songs on that album that I recognized were Houses of the Holy and Trampled Underfoot.
Right.
The other stuff might know it if I heard it, but I don't know the. Of course, they're notorious for giving names of the songs that they don't ever bring up in the song.
Yeah.
I like Led Zeppelin a lot, but for me, a lot of that stuff on their albums are fillers. I just don't. I mean, there's some great songs on there, but there's some just skippers. I mean,
Well,
John Paul
the best
Jones.
thing to do now is you get to go see, um, see the band that they have together being Led Zeppelin Experience or whatever, and it
right,
sounds really, really good. And they only play
sure,
the hits.
right.
So
There you
that's
go.
the best
That's
part.
the way to do it. Yeah.
All right, my number 3 is Nazareth's Hair of the Dog, also a gift from my aunt. But that was a gift from my aunt because my grandmother would not allow any records that had cuss words.
Right.
And she happened to catch my aunt listening to Hair of the Dog, the song Hair of the Dog. You get that garbage out of my house right now. So she
Right.
brought it to my house and gave it to me.
I
But
must have missed that on the list because that would have been
So,
on my
is this one
list.
of the ones you
this,
went off the
oh, okay.
list?
This is one
See,
that I forgot to mention. I picked one, two. I picked two that are not on the list.
Cheater.
see, he didn't follow the rules.
He
Well,
didn't follow his
now,
own
He didn't
instructions.
follow
to
his
be
own rules.
fair, Bill said he didn't think he could find 5. So I said, and you go back and look at our text thread, find some from 75. There's plenty to choose from.
I got plenty of songs to
I
talk about.
played my.
Right.
I got
But
played. Yeah.
anyway,
Anyway,
It's okay.
but
we were just. I
anyway,
was waiting for you to pull one up because I was going to get on you.
yeah.
I'm a
But
rule guy.
obviously, the song Hair of the Dog, the title track. I really like the song Beggar's Day, and I did not realize until I actually looked this stuff up on Wikipedia today. But Beggar's Day was written by Nils Lofgren, and you may know him from the band Crazy Horse with Neil Young.
Right.
And he's also been a member of the E Street Band since 1984.
Right.
And then Whiskey Drinking Woman is another really big to me song on that album. And
Right.
then Love Hurts, which is an Everly Brothers cover, but the song was written by, I'm going to pronounce this, Boudleaux Bryant, Boudleaux, Boudleaux. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
See, if it's got an accent, that would be Bordeaux. So it's like Bordeaux. It's got an accent. So
Oh,
it's
Mama's home. But yeah, I love more trivia about the Everly Brothers is Mr. Bryant also wrote Wake Up Little Susie,
Oh,
okay.
and 2 or 3 of their other big hits.
that's cool.
Hmm.
So, Dennis, what you got for number 2? I got to mute my microphone.
That's fine. So To be honest, my one and two are neck and neck, and that's got a lot to say about it. Now, the only reason that it is in 1975, no, it wasn't. One was there and one wasn't really kind of present. So I broke my own rule because this album didn't come about for me till a little bit later on, but it speaks volumes and it's probably one of my favorite albums. So anyway, I, but I'm gonna have to follow protocol. And my number two is Pink Floyd's "Wish You Were Here." I mean, we've talked about that before. You know, Pink Floyd had in a 4 album span, they had 3 masterpieces. I mean, you had Dark Side of the Moon, you had Wish You Were Here, and The Wall. I mean, those 3 albums were, Animals. I don't know, I don't have any interest in that whatsoever. But of those 3 of the 4, those to me are masterpiece albums. And Wish You Were Here is my favorite of the 3. Actually beats Dark Side of the Moon. So
Well, good.
it's a great album. And it's
That's
one of
the
those
that
ones you
must be
just
the
put it
one you
on.
didn't force me to listen to.
You just got to put it on, sit back, and listen. I used to take that on trips with me, and no, actually not trips, but work trips. And I would play it. I'd listen with my headphones on all the time. And I loved that
Tripping.
shit.
Dennis was
Yes,
tripping while he was tripping.
no, I was tripping with work, but listening to Pink Floyd. But yeah, it's just relaxing. I like it. Anyway,
All right, what's your number
number
two,
two.
Bill?
My number two is Aerosmith's "Toys in the Attic." So
Woo-hoo!
mine got
Okay,
further up the list than it did for
well,
you
that's good
guys.
though. I mean, it's good. I don't blame you for it. It's good.
Any
That's it.
special? That's it.
No,
That's it.
no, just yeah. I mean,
That's what I like. That's all I need.
Ah,
That's
all
all
that's
I
what I
right.
got to
like.
say about that.
That's all
That's
I
all
got
I
to
got
say
to
about
say
that
about
album.
that.
All right. Well, my number two album also is not on the list, but it was my introduction to Alice Cooper. It's Welcome to My Nightmare. Yeah. And it's another one. It was a record my dad had. And of course, I've talked about my dad's record collection off and on the whole time we've been doing this show. My dad, he liked some pretty diverse stuff.
Right.
But back to this album, Welcome to My Nightmare, Only Women Bleed. Those were the two big quote unquote hits from this album. I'm a big fan of the song Cold Ethel because
Yeah.
it's such a
It's,
weird ass song.
there's great songs all over that album.
Song, oh yeah, there are great songs all over it. But I'm going to give honorable mention to the song Some Folks because, it
Yeah.
has such a vaudeville vibe to it, the snapping the
Do, do,
fingers and
do, do, do.
I could see somebody tap dancing to this
Oh,
album,
yeah.
And I think that this is his Alice's first album without the original members. And I think that probably why I like this one is because he went in this direction instead of the direction that the other albums,
Well,
you
and
know,
you know who was a
because
big,
like the very two first Alice Cooper albums,
right.
I can't hardly listen to at all.
But you know who was involved in this album, right?
Bob Ezrin.
Bob Ezrin. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why you got what you got.
Well, this is not the only album that
Right.
Bob Ezrin, he produced
Right.
some of their earlier stuff too.
Right. But I'm saying this one, I think this one, it all clicked.
Right.
And shame on Rolling Stone for not adding that to the top 75 and not putting it in the top 10. You motherfuckers, you suck. Because
Pat,
once I went through, I pulled, I told you earlier, I pulled up what albums, all the albums released, rock albums in 1975. Rolling Stone, you suck. You absolutely suck. There are so many good albums that were released.
so funny. All
Cocksuckers.
right. Well, we're up to number one. I wonder what it could be.
I
You're number
think I'm going to
one.
put $10 on the fact that we're all going to get the same
Well,
album.
we're at least going to get the same band.
Right. Well,
Oh, no, because we
well,
have
I know what you're
no.
talking
Well, no,
about,
because
and
he's a rule breaker.
I would have voted the other way too, but I didn't because I went with the rules. So there you go.
Yeah,
So
that's
anyway.
okay.
So what do
All
you
right.
got, Dennis?
Well, of course, the most probably had most influence on me as a kid of any album I ever bought
Rocky Horror
or
Picture Show.
heard. Actually, that's a good one. But
That
anyway,
was seven. That was also
That was on
1975.
that was in my top 10. Uh no, of course, Kiss Alive. Ta-da.
Bill?
The thing that started it all.
Uh, well, I actually missed that. No, wait a minute. I didn't miss that.
That'd be funny if none of us picked
I
Kiss.
saw that and I'm like on Rolling Stone. I bet the mofos didn't even add that to it. And I was like, fine. But it was like 30, 32 or something like that.
Gene probably paid him for that.
Kiss Alive was number 31. You were very
31.
close.
I
Yeah.
was like, you sons of bitches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I treated him like shit all those years and then make him
Yeah.
31. We'll
Yeah,
take it.
yeah.
Hey,
For
sure.
sure.
it's in the upper half of that 75.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, Kiss Alive, obviously. We all knew that anybody that knew that album came out in 75 knew that's what we were gonna pick.
But Dress to Kill was also released in
Right,
1975. I would have voted for that one.
and if I had to pick a song off of that album as my favorite, it'd probably be the opener, Room Service.
I mean, in ZZ Top, Fandango, you
Mm.
had
Oh,
Songs for America by Kansas was that year. I mean, there's a ton. I wish I had
I
that fucking
know.
list.
I
I can't
know.
find that list. But I'm like going, fuck, there's so many great. I thought when was Foreigner's Cold as Ice or the original Foreigner album?
the
That
first
was
Foreigner album? Oh, that was
that
yeah.
like 73 or something? Maybe.
77 or 78.
Yeah, 78. Yeah.
Oh, was
Yeah,
it
I
that
think
late?
Yeah.
I thought it was earlier than that. That's why I thought that was going to be on that list. I'm like, oh, I hope that's on there.
we have Leonard
But
Skinner that came out in 1975 too.
Yeah.
Saturday Night Special
Nothing
was
fancy.
Really?
Ted Nugent's Stranglehold.
Right.
Yeah, Ted.
Right.
Well, no, Ted. Yeah, Ted Nugent. Ted Nugent came out that year.
Yeah.
Who was it? There was somebody else that I was like, oh shit, I can't believe that was.
Yeah, so I went down the rabbit hole of just put in iTunes 1975 rock hits, and
Right.
I drove around on my mower for an hour and 50 minutes and just listened
He
to a
didn't even
shit ton
have
of
it
this.
cutting any grass. He was just riding the mower.
I don't
I'm
know what our
busy,
neighbor's
Lisa.
doing. I know what our neighbor's doing, but he's not mowing grass. He's just fucking rocking balls out.
I am. If you came out there, you probably heard me singing.
So Foreigner original album was 77. I didn't realize it was that late.
Yeah.
I thought it was earlier than that. Anyway,
Yeah.
and Double
Well,
Vision was the same year. Okay.
I've just got some quick notes here. Some of the other
Oh.
albums that got my attention. Number 71 was Elton John's Rock of the Westies, and that had
Right.
Island Grill and Grow Some Funk of Your Own on it.
That's good.
Number 64, Jefferson Starships, Red Octopus had Miracles on it.
Love that song. Marty
One
Balin's
one thing, one
awesome.
thing to note about that song is the radio edit has the reference to oral sex removed.
There is and if you go to Spotify, Marty Balin recorded a later version of that
Oh,
as a
really?
solo thing, and it's really, really, really good.
I have to check that out.
If I find it, Alan, I'll send it to you because it's really good.
Okay, number 62, the Eagles, One of These Nights.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a
Title
good
track, Lion Eyes, Take It to the Limit.
album.
Number 54, Wars, Why Can't We Be Friends? Title track and Lowrider.
Yeah, right.
Number 52, Paul McCartney and Wings, Venus and Mars.
I listened to that entire album last night,
Did you?
and it almost made my top 5.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
a
To be fair,
really
there's
good
only
album.
one song on the album that I know. Listen to what the man says.
Right. But you actually know more than that. It's funny. I
probably know them when I hear them.
I knew
Yeah.
a ton of them that I didn't realize I knew, but it
Yeah.
was really good. I liked it.
Number
I guess-
49, The Who, By the Numbers, Slip
That's
Kid and Squeezebox.
Right.
We already mentioned AC/DC at number 47. Elton John, Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy at number 42. Someone Saved My Life Tonight was the big hit off
Great
of that.
song. Great song.
It is. Art's Dreamboat Annie came in at number 41.
That's a great album.
Title track, Magic Man and Crazy on You.
That was in my top 10.
Yeah. David Bowie's Young Americans came in at number 26, and that's
That
got the
was
title track and the
close.
song Fame. And I didn't realize until, again, today when I finally got around to researching this,
Right.
John Lennon's on the song Fame.
Oh,
Really?
wow.
I did not
Yes.
know that.
Yes.
Interesting.
And-
Yoko Backer going, I love all
You're
those.
terrible, Dennis.
No, but that's the way she sings. But I love those ones where
Oh, she
you know,
sounds way better than you.
when they have that same thing where she's singing like this and singing that, and it just it's
The one with Chuck
always
Berry.
It's always terrible. Well, that's Chuck Berry looking there like, what the
That
fuck
is
are you
funny.
saying?
Yeah. Anyway, that's all I got. All the rest of the albums on that list that I had in my notes, one of us had at least covered.
Right. And I know why Rolling Stone does this. I mean, because like my friend Joe, he loved Parliament. Parliament was like it was one of the top three. And for people who like funk and shit like that, I mean, it's a great album. Don't get me
Well,
wrong.
there was
It was a pretty, I mean, that was pretty average
the
in
Willie Nelson
75.
Redheaded Stranger that was on there.
Mhm.
You know,
Right.
so I mean, there
Yep.
was country, there was rock, there was
And there
pop.
was and they were good stuff. Is it my type stuff? No.
Exactly.
You know, but
But Rolling Stone,
they're-
you still suck.
they do. I mean, like Bill said earlier, Bob Dylan. No, Bob Dylan's not number one. He's
Well,
not
it is
that
if you're a stoner.
true, but
Because
Anyway.
otherwise, why would you even listen to it?
I actually have that. I actually own that album.
That would never tell anybody
It
that.
got in. Well, I got in. It was in here. It was one of Kelly's dads, I think, and it was.
You don't have to keep it. There's not like a law.
No, it's not. You know what? It's not one of the ones. It's actually in the yard barn in a box. It's not one of the ones in my double
So
plastic.
you've basically thrown it out.
That one, that
It's
one's
a
gonna
yard
be.
barn.
It's a warper.
You might as well just go ahead and throw that in
No,
the trash.
there's albums that here that are in plastic and then double plastic, and then there's albums that are not.
Well, bring those up on the next
And look,
episode.
this is what I just pulled out.
Hold on.
Jefferson
Yeah.
Airplanes.
Funny. Let's bring all that stuff up on a future episode.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Anything else? Any parting shots? Anybody you want to insult?
Oh, Dennis is wrong again, but
No,
it's
but
okay.
we may all three, but maybe not Bill. We don't know yet. Be going to see the Gene Simmons band this weekend, along with the Iron Maidens at the Dam. You ever hear their commercials on the radio?
Is that what it says?
At the Dam.
Radio. What's that?
Because it's the funniest when Hairball is going to enter because they're like, Hairball at the Dam. Rock out with Hairball. It's this guy with this voice.
I can't say with Hairball after Rock Out. You know what's coming.
But anyway, but they're like this with the Gene Simmons band. They're all going off. I'm looking forward to that though, because you know what? I'm gonna DD and I'm just gonna have fun. So, Brian,
All
I'm
right.
sorry.
Well,
Bring a trash
I'm telling
can.
you, we're going to leave Dennis in Beaver Dam, Kentucky.
4 go down, 3 come back.
That's right.
It'll be fun.
When
No, I'm
Dennis
looking forward
hears
to it.
banjos, he know he fucked up.
I'd like to see the Iron Maidens though. I'm looking forward to that. I hope they do a good job.
This is how much attention that I've paid. I didn't even know the Iron Maidens were going to be there.
I just found out like a week ago.
Oh,
They just
cool.
announced it. So, but it'd be
All
fun.
right,
It'd be a good
people.
show.
Y'all know what to do. Visit agesrock.com. Check out our Facebook page and our past episodes. And until next time, peace out. Thanks for listening to the Ages of Rock podcast. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and most importantly, tell all your friends. Remember, you're never too old to rock. Until the next episode, peace out, folks.